Today we're going to start demonstrating how I'm going to create my Agamograph. Agamographs are named after Yaakov Agam, who's an Israeli artist who started making these lenticular art pieces in 1951. What I'm going to do is show you the two pieces I'm going to start with. So I have two separate drawings. They're oriented in landscape mode, not portrait, because you want them to be cut like this, and the way it's assembled better is if you do it in landscape mode. I'm going to go over a checklist of the things you're going to need to get this project completed. The first thing is of course, your two drawings, oriented in landscape mode. You're going to need a 12-inch ruler. You're going to need scissors, a gel pen, two different types of glue. One is a glue stick and the other one is Elmer's liquid glue. Then in the first demonstration we created our accordion fold sheet of paper that is made on a 24 by 9 inch sheet of paper. And everything's going to end up getting glued onto a piece of cardboard that I got from a box. It's 16 by 9 inches in size. So that's basically everything you're going to need. It's important that you have all these things gathered together. Fortunately, I think most of these things are readily available at home, so you'll be good to go to do this project. So let's start with these two. I want to talk about these first. You want to create, again, I made landscapes. One is a nighttime wooded meadow. The other one is a Grand Canyon with a lot of really bright, colorful marker work I did on it. I want you to think in terms of when you create your art pieces, how are they complementary to one another? They could be colors, they could be themes like, I don't know, Batman and the Joker, winter and summer, night and day. It could be transformations, it could be a tadpole and a frog, a butterfly turning from a caterpillar. Those are interesting and good ideas to get this to happen. So let's start with how we're going to rule these pictures. I went ahead and already started doing one because it's got a lot of kind of seepage with the ink work. I'm going to start with one. So I'm going to turn it over. It's easier to do that because in case you got an eraser or you don't want to mar your artwork, you don't want it to end up with lines in it and all that. So it's important to always turn your artwork over, and you're going to take your ruler and measure the hash marks. Now these are important because you want them to be accurate, and you're going to cut these into strips of 12 strips that are going to then be glued onto this accordion piece. One set of drawings is going to be on one side, and the other set is going to be on the other side. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to measure 1 inch strips. So the numbers on your ruler are going to help you to do that. So I'm marking those off. 1 inch, just about where the numbers are. Easier, there's a whole bunch of different lines on your ruler, but if you just focus and draw a hash mark on where each inch is marked off, that'll be really what you want to do. So I'm going to do that on the bottom. The reason I'm making these, as I explained when we made our accordion fold, is you want to be accurate. You don't want to just draw the inch marks on one side of your paper, because then you're going to end up with inaccurate measurements. For instance, if I could go ahead and show you, if I were to just draw it on one side and then I start drawing my inches, look how easily I could end up with a line if I don't have that kind of like grounding hash mark on the bottom. So it's really important that we draw them on the top and bottom of your paper so we don't end up with a mistake like that. And I'm going to, and I could show you that because it's on the back. I won't draw my line on that messy mark. So I got hash marks on both sides, and I'm going to go ahead with a gel pen, not a Sharpie. A Sharpie like this, if you were to draw it, it would end up with seepage. It would kind of just pollute your artwork on the other side, and you don't want to do that. So a pencil or a gel pen would do the job perfectly if it works. And there we go. So I'm lining up my ruler on the top hash mark and the bottom. If you take your time, you can get this to do that. Having accuracy is really important. A lot of you in the future are going to have jobs and trades that require accuracy. Even, you know, building a bird house requires accurate measuring and cutting. Everything is kind of hinges on that. So it's good to get used to that as early on as we can. Okay, so we've got these lines going. I like having rulers that are transparent so I can see when I'm putting my ruler based on my artwork. But if you don't have any transparent rulers, that's fine. Now here comes the part that's a little bit interesting. And that's that when I draw that line I started on at first, when I draw my numbers, I'm going to do it backwards. I'm not going to draw my numbers on this side, 1, 2, 3. Instead, I'm going to start on this side and work my way backwards. The reason why I'm doing that is because when you start cutting it and you have 1 here, that ends up kind of referring to the left side of your artwork, and you want to start on your right side so you don't get too confused. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Right? Art paper is always 9 by 12. I did the same thing on the other sheet of paper, but I did it in in numbers. I used the alphabet, again, another way to differentiate. So if you cut this off and, you got to get up and do something, and you have all these strips of paper, you can kind of work it so that you can find your picture and not be confused if you just look on the back and see numbers and letters. It just helps it get it to